and welcome to another FAQ Monday. I am your host, Fluff, and I am fresh back from tour. A little short tour, but 17-hour drive is still a 17-hour drive. Am I right? I'm tired. Well, I was tired. I just got done taking a nap, so I'm not like super mega, like I haven't slept in a while tired. I'm just kind of like fresh from a nap tired. Hence the coffee. First question. Thoughts on the Epiphone RD signature guitar? My socials was immediately blowing up when Epiphone announced that Lee Malia of Bring Me the Horizon was getting his own signature Epiphone RD artisan guitar, and it's a great guitar. I actually held that very first one that he has in the pictures when I went to go and see Bring Me the Horizon earlier this year. Lee and Joey were nice enough to let me come back and hang out, and they had shown me the RD that they had just gotten a few days before, and I played it, I held it, but I wasn't allowed to say anything. There's no photos allowed. Lee wasn't allowed to take it out on stage yet. I mean, it was all super top secret, but I got to hold it and play it, and it's pretty light, like most of the Epiphones, but it really resonated and it felt really good. I'll be honest, it was really, really nice guitar. So I'm definitely gonna try to get one on the channel, and yeah, you know I will try. I will try very hard. Maybe I'll hit up Lee if I have to get some Epiphone RD goodness on this channel. Trust me. In your 64 audio video, you mentioned a few songs that were sonically amazing. What 5 songs or 5 albums do you listen to on new speakers or headphones? That is actually a great question because I recently got some of these Adam Audio A7X, and I also got some Bayer Dynamic DT880 headphones, just trying to step up my game a little bit, and the Adams are in for review, and I'm getting used to them and using them and seeing how I like them. And I do have kind of a loosey-goosey group of albums that I kind of listen to and that I will use to repeatedly play in and burn in the speakers in addition to pink noise. But those albums are basically any Katy Perry record, namely the Teenage Dream record and the Prism record. Sound phenomenal. Muse's Second Law album, mixed by Chris Lord Alge, I think that is sonically just incredible. There's Daft Punk, Random Access Memories, I have long said I think is sonically one of the best sounding recorded anything ever in any genre or any time period. And for heavy stuff, if I want to get super, super heavy, I'll do the latest Architects record, All Our Gods Have Abandoned Us. It's generally what I stick to, or the newest John Mayer record is also unbelievable sounding sonically. I mean, the songs are great too, but sonically that album is so clean and has a lot of dynamics. And so those are the albums that I use typically to listen to new headphones and new speakers to kind of gauge how they are sounding, because I'm very familiar with those albums. So yeah, there you go. Link down below. What do you guys like to listen to when you're breaking in new speakers or new headphones? Single, double, or triple rectifier? Ah, yes, the eternal question. Really, if I'm real honest with myself, I want to like the triple more, but I don't. It's the dual rectifier for me is just it. As far as the rectifier lines, the classic dual rectifier, not the triple rectifier. I have a vintage, a mid-90s minty triple rectifier, 2-channel rectifier, and it's pretty boomy, and the bottom end is not as tight as on the dual rectifiers out of the box. And I don't know, man, I just think the dual rectifiers, there's something real special about them. And you know, that is the first version of all of the rectifiers. The single and the triple were all kind of offshoots and came after the dual rectifier. But the dual rectifier is kind of where it all started, and it's kind of where it all started for me for guitar tone anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and say dual rectifier for this one. What problem would you say comes up most with guitars people bring to the studio? It's an interesting question. I guess that they suck and they're not intonated and they're cheap garbage, and the guitarist will often be married to them psychologically, so they have to use that guitar. And then you're kind of forced to like, okay, give me the guitar. I'm gonna go intonate it. I'm going to try to make it as best as it can be, even though it's inferior to most of the guitars I have for studio use here. But you know, maybe they're not comfortable with the Les Paul, they're not comfortable with the Strat, or in some cases, they have the exact same guitar I do, but I just have the much better version. Like they'll have an Epiphone Les Paul, and I have a real Gibson Les Paul, but it's just not their guitar, so they're not comfortable with it. That kind of thing. I think that stuff is kind of silly. I think any guitarist that's in the studio and worth the salt should be able to pick up a guitar and get comfortable with it in a reasonable amount of time, especially in a studio setting, but more so, you know, should be bringing crappy guitars into the studio, really. So, yeah, I think that would be the number one thing, is just that the guitars are crappy, that a lot of the guitarists bring in to the studio with that, or they're not intonated or properly set up. I think that's probably the biggest one besides the guitar themselves. But yeah, I could go on and on and on about that, but we won't. We'll save that for another time. And now, Fluff reads a tweet. How long does it take to inflate a blimp? I would say a good year. My suggestion to you this week is to check out the documentary Hired Gun. This is a wonderful documentary exploring the side of rock and roll and the side of music that is not often talked about, and that is hired guns, studio musicians and hired musicians for, you know, touring musicians, the John Fives of the world, the Phil X's of the world, the Nita, the Hurricane Nita, Nitas of the world, you know, all these amazing guitarists, Jason Hook from Five Finger Death Punch, are all in this documentary, and it's incredible. You can buy it on video on demand, or I believe you can stream it on HBO as well. I think, don't quote me on that. I saw it on a streaming service and I can't remember what it is right at this second, but I do know it's on Amazon and Google Play and all that kind of stuff. It's well worth the $3.99 it costs to rent. Wonderful documentary. I've been following the making of this documentary for quite a while, and I'm excited that it's actually out, and it's really good. And they explain kind of the psychology that goes into being a hired gun and how you have to be the best. And you know, Alice Cooper and Rob Zombie are in it. And they talk about what they look for when they're hiring a musician to either play on their records or tour and all this stuff. Anyway, I could go on and on about it. It's really wonderful. I think you guys should check it out. Link down below in the description. And yeah, let me know what you guys think of Hired Gun. All pickable links down below in the description. You've been wonderful. I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.